the dream come true for you?
Oh, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Football, bloody hell. But they never give in. And that's the winner.
Welcome to the American Red Devils podcast. I'm John.
I'm Alex.
And we're bringing you the best Manchester United news from this side of the pond.
Woo, sir. How we doing? How we doing? Era's come to an end indeed. Manchester United lose to the Hammers at the London Stadium against David Moyes, tactical genius. They popped our bubble. You got anything for me?
I wouldn't even let them on the bus after the match. I get a taxi back to Manchester.
Get me a tag. I tell you what, 4:30 wake up. Shout out to all the West Coasters getting up early to watch this shit football. Nothing that surprising here. United lose again. I guess it's because West Ham are on the top half of the table. We can't beat nobody away. Can't seem to beat nobody at home either. But United kind of in control. It's a patchwork squad. Had a couple chances. What do you think? We didn't take them, of course, and then got bit twice in like 6 minutes in the second half. But either way, not good enough for Manchester United. We are grasping for straws. The team is an absolute mess. And at the same time, busy news week. We haven't talked to you guys in a minute. There's no midweek game. We weren't in the FL Cup semifinals, but busy news week coming in. Ratcliffe's on his way. Murtaugh getting dragged through the mud. You love to see it. That's my L. That's my W for the week. John Murtaugh finally being exposed as the fraud he is. But either way, United lose again. How we feeling? How we doing?
Look, United go away to London Stadium. David Moyes, West Ham sold their best player. We were linked to that player who now is playing well at the Gunners. Oh, the Harry Kanes, the Declan Rices of the world. What could they have done? Instead, we're looking at the Antonys and the Hoylands. Look, I'm not writing Hoyland off, but when I said this young Danish striker was not going to be worth that paycheck, it has turned out to be true. Absolutely brutal. We got nothing to attack. The manager is stubborn, not switching it. Rashford's on the bench. He ain't sick still. That's a manager putting his thumb on him a little bit. This team at the moment, sir, I'm speechless. I'm without speech. The season's over. It's done. It's cooked. We're toast. It's not even Christmas. And this team, just the taste in your mouth they're leaving you during the holidays is just brutal. Shout out to all the fans around the world who continue to support this squad. Look, the only thing we got is Ratcliffe's coming in with 25%, and allegedly the Glazers have told him, you can have football operations, new CEO, 2 director of footballs. We're thinking we could pip Newcastle's director of football. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Next 2 years is going to be brutal. This is brutal. This is Rangnick ball. This has all the vibes. I'm checked out as a fan. Rangnick was like, you're checked out in March and April. We're out of Europe, and this team has more time. West Ham played 3 times in 6 days, and they beat us today. That's absolutely embarrassing. We got to focus on the league. What league? Manchester United crashing down the table, and this is just, we're going to get more of this. This season is going to be about that. It's going to be about the rebuild and the new owner. That's about it.
That's the hope. The hope is about that because, like you said, you're not the only fan that's dejected these days. Hard to watch. Hard to get up at 4:30, watch this team. And then when they went down, that's the thing. It's like, you're like, we had our chances. And then you get scored on, and it's done. It's like, well, this team's got no fight in it. Nothing. The manager's grasping at straws. They brought on Rashford for last 40 minutes. He didn't do a diddly squat. So it's like everywhere you look, we can't score goals. We can't defend. We can't switch things up. And at the same time, expose coming out through The Athletic. Shout out to The Athletic. Probably the best journos on that side of the pond, even though they're an American-owned company. They're exposing just like all of the lack of foresight and organization and
But we told you all of this.
Yeah, but they finally.
But we knew it.
They
we
finally
said it.
confirmed every element of it. Jude Bellingham, Anthony deal, Hoyland deal. It's like left, right, and center. The club's a mess.
What about
Eric Ten Hag?
Did you not see De Jong? I mean, like, come on. The guys are in Barcelona. Like, that's all you need to know.
How'd that go?
That's all you need to know.
Yeah, who'd we end up with? Casemiro at
We
the last
broke
minutes.
it down.
But either way, that's
why are
the
you
hope.
in Barcelona
The thing to be hopeful
if you
about.
want to have leverage, right? If you have any leverage, you're not there.
They've never done it before. They've never done it before.
If you have any leverage, you're not there. It's like, that's why they're the
That's the
Payet
hope.
brothers.
The hope-
They're gone.
The Payet brothers. I tell you what, Murtaugh's fighting for his life. He was like, there was winds of a change. He was going to stick around. Arnold got the whack. Fletcher's going to get the whack. Hogg is definitely going to get the whack. Murtaugh was going to hang in.
No, they're all done. They're all cooked. They're all cooked. Everyone who touched this
he
team
was
is
really
cooked.
hanging in, and then somebody told everything. And that article that dropped 2 days ago or yesterday in The Athletic was unbelievable savaging.
Well, this is good.
Of a decade of incompetence from John Murtaugh. The guy's been slinking in the back, DOF, probably the worst DOF in the game.
But it's not like he had a good rep, and it's not like we didn't know he botched Holland because of the time.
But he
zone.
also botched
It's not like-
Bellingham. I didn't even
But
know
of
that. He
course.
botched Bellingham. He botched all these transfers.
We've been Have you seen our transfer business, sir? We spent $400 million with this manager. We
And we're a
spent
mess.
$400
And we're a
million.
mess.
And the
And we're
number one
exact-
thing about United that is, look, you can kill the manager, you can kill Murtaugh, you can kill Arnold, you can kill the Glazers, you can kill these players. They all deserve it, but this whole thing is a shit sandwich. And it's all got to go. The whole sandwich has got to go. The players got to go. The manager, whatever this manager is doing, it's got to go.
Everybody.
And guess what? It don't matter about, people want to argue about Erik ten Hag. Do you see what he's coming up with? Do you see what this team is doing? And it's you don't think that
It's not
he
about
made,
the manager, bro. It's not about the manager.
It's about it. So everybody deserves blame. And the football we're playing at the minute is you look at David Moyes with West Ham, don't have a lot of great players. They're playing. That says something. And you look at United, and it's absolute mess.
They probably
and
got better
Anthony's a big
recruitment
part of
They
it.
probably have better recruitment than we do.
Hey, Anthony's a big part of it. There's a lot of McTominay not dropping, the whole two attacking midfielders. We came into this season, the manager said, I want Mason Mount, I want Bruno Fernandes, I want two attacking midfielders. I said, in the EPL, I said that. Hey, is that the way you're gonna outsmart everyone in England and play that way? Well, guess what? It's not working, and he keeps doing it. So he's not doing himself any favors either. That's why I'm not gonna paper over the cracks and not take shots at the manager for why we're here. The players deserve the blame, director of football, the manager, the Glazers, everybody, and they, in my opinion, they're all going. They're absolutely, it's all clean. This is a clean house, 2-year rebuild, burn it down, build it back up. I think Ten Hag will do well. I think he'll have a great career, but I think Manchester United is so screwed that there's nothing here. There's nothing here in this team. There's nothing here in this squad. It's just pick out the nice parts and get rid of everything else.
No, it is joyless football. And trust me, I'm not protecting Erik ten Hag. I'm just saying all of our problems are not going to go away once he is sacked, which he will be sacked in the next 12 months because we thought everything was going to get better with Ole, with Jose. This club's a mess, like you said. I think you encapsulated perfectly. They need to go all the way. That's the thing is Eric, obviously Ten Hag's going to get cut. Obviously your fringe players like the Martial, the Donny Van de Beek, and the Lindelof will get cut. But you got to cut to bone, bro. This team has to
this
cut
is a burn
through
it all
flesh,
down.
through
All
muscle,
down. The whole
to the
house,
bone.
to the ground.
We have to literally keep it used to be 7 or 8 a couple months ago. Now it's 5.
No,
It's
no,
4 or 5 players.
No, it was get rid of 10. It was you only need to get rid of 10 players and get a new manager. Now this is literally
keep 5 of them.
anyone, and this is my statement, which is it doesn't come down to the manager. Anyone who has been a part of this organization in any fashion that has gotten us to this point should never work for Manchester United or come near or into the stadium, at the training ground, anywhere near this club ever again. That goes for anyone who coached us to get us to this point. Ole didn't help. Mourinho didn't help. Van Gaal didn't help. They spent all that money too. And guess what? Erik ten Hag, he ain't helping either. And these guys are gone, dude. It's everyone has to go, especially the players. The players,
especially the players,
clear them out.
The players.
We're talking burn
All of them.
this mother down to the ground. Literally, Carrington has to be destroyed and rebuilt anew. Old Trafford, you could retrofit that.
You just love to say how much you want to blast.
This is sir.
No, it's over, bro.
I don't
We're a
believe in
mess.
curses or something, but there's some bad juju going on. We got to get rid of it. There has to be a real deal clear out at United because we know what we're watching and you know what you're going to get the rest of the year. But it comes down to the positive.
What's the positive?
As a fan, I'm back this team. I back this club no matter what. Wear my jersey proudly. Talk smack to the other fans. Show up. Watch every single game. Never give up. Never say die. That is the Manchester United way. We should back this team to the hilt and support them during this transition process. But keep your eye on the prize. And the eye on the prize is you start seeing the hitters that are being linked to United, and it's going to change. They might not get it right day one, but over time, they're going to do much better than what we've seen so far.
And they're not going to get it right over time. Excuse me, not going to get it right away, right? Because even Arsenal, City when they did their rebuilds. They didn't get it right away, but they learned quickly, and then eventually they built an approach that worked for them, and we need to do the same thing. We need to go back to basics. We need to get rid of everybody, and I agree with that. You can criticize everyone from the manager to the players to the owner to the front office, but at the end of the day, I'm going to support this club wholeheartedly. I stand behind it. You stand behind it, and that's why I'm rooting for the badge at this point. I'm not not even rooting for the players.
The history.
Ten Hag, I was rooting for him, but he dug his own fucking grave. So see you later. I don't know how to say au revoir in Dutch, but smell you later.
Well,
bro.
do it in a class way. The new owner. I don't think the new owners could be in a rush.
You do it at the end of the season anyway.
Exactly.
You find a replacement because there's nobody good right now.
We're headed for Rangnick anyway. You know what I'm saying? So you can
who's
get
the Dutch guy? Who's the Dutch backup guy?
You can get rid of getting rid of Erik ten Hag will not help. That's also what I like. He ain't helping, but getting rid of him ain't gonna help because these players are bluffing so hard and getting paid so much money they don't care and they don't understand what it means to be a Manchester United player. And so we gotta figure out how to get that back at Manchester United. If the club wants to hire me, I'm available.
Don't hire
reach
John.
out AmericanRedDevils at gmail.com.
Like,
Sir, we got a PSA for the podcast, by the way. We got to keep the lights on here because we're not employed by the club. Ratcliffe.
Hire us. We'll tell you the real deal, bro.
I'll tell you the real deal. And speaking of supporting the club, support the pod. We're fan supported. We don't have any commercial sponsors. We save your time. We respect your time. Join our Patreon page, patreon.com/AmericanRedDevils. We do a behind-the-scenes episode every single month, mailbag, tons of benefits. Please check it out. And if you're not interested in Patreon, check out our store, AmericanRedDevils.store. Pins, stickers, scarves, shirts, you name it. Also, AmericanRedDevils.com for your fan blog content. And if you're interested in writing for it, reach out, AmericanRedDevils at gmail.com. Sir, tell them about iTunes reviews. They can subscribe. Anything to boost our socials goes a long way as well. Because, again, we're that for fan by fan take.
Working harder than the players on the pitch, I'll tell you that.
Damn straight.
America Red Devils, John mentioned a lot of great ways to support the pod, like he said, but another great way to support us is write 5-star reviews wherever you listen, but especially on iTunes and Spotify. And if you do so, we will send you a free scarf. All you have to do, write a 5-star review, iTunes, Spotify, send a screenshot of that review to AmericanRedDevils@gmail.com with your mailing address, and I'll personally pick back and ship a free ARD scarf. Send it right to your door anywhere in the world. I heard those Erik ten Hag Red Army scarves. They're going to go.
Get them while they're hot.
Get them while they're hot.
Get them while they're hot.
Then you're going to get them while they're free. Sir, let's get into some football.
All right. Let's break it down. Alex going rogue on the soundboard.
Let's go. Holidays, baby. West Ham.
West Ham 2, Manchester United 0, London Stadium. Let's get into that lineup. We had Onana in net, Luke Shaw, Evans, Camboila, Wan-Bissaka, let's go. Mainu, McTominay, Garnacho, Bruno, Anthony, Hoyland up top, sir. This is the 11. Give me your thoughts.
I mean, the debut for the 19-year-old lad. I've been hearing about this guy for a long time. A lot of hype around him. He had a big injury. He was out for a year. Looked big. I mean, unit, 19 years old. The guy's got some size to him. So that my major concern was, obviously, you got to change up McTominay. Eriksen's not ready to start yet. There's no one really else other than Hannibal. But the midfield gave me concerns. The defense gave me concerns.
Varane was out from an illness, and apparently the rumor is he's pushing through a transfer out of the club in January. So another illness. A lot of players falling ill.
350, yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of ill players. This manager, is
It's not the manager. Okay. Why is it the manager's fault that the player won't play?
Dude, he's falling out with all these guys.
They're getting paid $1 million a month. Over $1 million a month.
You got a leader amongst men. You got to get people.
He's going to get fired, and then you can't fire Varane. You can't fire Rashford. Rashford was also ill. Remember that? Martial?
No, exactly. But I'm just saying, there's a lot of we don't have that many players, and when there's so much stuff going on where you can't even get your best players on the field,
we have
the feuding all the time.
We have the fifth and sixth string center back playing. That guy was not
okay. You said based that the last pod, Rashford and Martial said they're ill and they're not ill. I assume the same with Varane. That's kind of the crazy land we're living in. And when you're living in that land, you're not playing
Well, if I have to call it one, yeah, we're not playing well.
Exactly, because your best players don't even want to play. Yes.
But what does that say about the club? I mean, yes, he's going to get fired. That's fine. I'm done sticking up for him. But if players are going to like literally not play and pretend to be sick, then they don't deserve to play at the club either. So you should get rid of Ten Hag, and you should certainly get rid of Varane and Rashford and anyone else that doesn't want to play.
No, it's just
for the
more
team.
of the amount. Like if you think about falling out with players and you fall out with like so many of them where you can't field an 11, it's an issue. You know, but like it's one of those things where Varane wants out allegedly. And then you have the 19-year-old start, and people ask questions because we're in that questioning mode. This is not a great place to be as a fan, right?
What did you think of the 11 when you saw it, sir?
You can't be playing this McTominay, Bruno, bomb it forward midfield, and then get scored on. I mean, this thing the manager's been cooking for a long time. It doesn't work, hasn't worked, and again today I felt like this was an issue. Why midfield's mashed potatoes, got no teeth in attack. So you get it in their third, which we were able to. We got nothing doing, and so It's just not. This is not how we should be playing right now as Manchester United.
Honestly, we control the game in terms of just having the ball, but we couldn't do anything with it. Right, with McTominay, you cannot link up defense and attack. He can't create unless he's storming into the box to like finish a chance. He's basically ineffective unless he's defending off the ball. So I agree. And then they were so good defensively. They were so compact. We knew they were going to be. You knew exactly who this West Ham side would be. So.
This is the McFred, essentially. Like this
We're
is
in
the new
McFred era. We're in the McFred era.
This is the new McFred. Bruno, McTominay, like 2 10s. One isn't a 10, and they can't defend and they can't help attack. And we're just in this rut where the managers want to give it up. First half, look, not our worst game. I think this is one of them. I'm going to call it balls and strikes. Good first half from United. But there was a bad result. I actually think we created some chance. 5th minute, not a nice save from Emerson's strike. 35th, West Ham gave the ball away. Garnacho, one-on-one. We've seen this a lot. This is probably 5 or 6
right?
One-on-one.
For him
Can't
alone.
finish. This is where the feud with Rashford is going to bite you at the end of the day. You got to get him on side. You got to get him in form. If manager wants to save his neck, right? At a certain point, you're on the same ship. You got to get Rashford in these one-on-ones. We saw it at Liverpool. Garnacho had it, couldn't finish. Rashford finishes these, and that's kind of where I'm pointing to this, like, you can fall out with players, but there's a time, and you got to get them onside. Ten Hag's been good at implementing the discipline. Last season, he did it and then got them right back onside. He fell out with Garnacho, onside. Rashford, 1 game, onside. This time it's been these longer feuds that are similar, like Varane, Rashford, obviously Sancho, long one. And this just isn't help. It's like we're sinking the ship. And Garnacho, I feel bad because I feel like we're ruining him, and I feel like we're ruining Højlund as well. Just getting these young kids out there, a lot of minutes, and they're not converting. That kills their confidence.
No, because it's right now. It's like we're one of the lowest scoring teams in the league. Like, forget about teams in the top half of the table. And I have to agree. It's like you can't be starting Garnacho every game. I'm going to do a little bit of player culpability. Like, Garnacho has to do better. He should have done better with that chance he had against the Scousers last weekend. That should have been a goal. This definitely should have been a goal. Højlund arguably should have scored a goal last week. But I agree. It's like you got to play some of the veterans because you know what? They could take the pressure a little bit more. It's unfair to put so much pressure on a 20-year-old Højlund. Forget what we paid. That's not his decision. And on 19-year-old Garnacho, we have a 19-year-old Manu, 19-year-old Kamwala. It's like, Jesus Christ, you're putting a lot of pressure on the youngsters. And then you got Johnny Evans holding the line, bro. Good for him. For all the 35-year-old and ups, he's hanging in there.
Yeah, but when it comes to managing youth, it's like Sir Alex did it best, where you give them minutes, you build the confidence over time before you just start them week in, week out when they're not delivering, and then that usually ruins them. And we're in that position where we're just playing them, and it's just like, 39th minute, Manu with a nice driven shot saved wide. 44th, dangerous low cross from Antony, but once again, Højlund can't get there. He is just, he's not getting the service, but there's not a lot to report home about Højlund, unfortunately. Second half, United came off a little slow. Onana with a nice save on a Bauer shot. West Ham building into the game. 57th minute, sub Rashford for Højlund. I thought this was a little harsh for Højlund. I thought maybe Anthony Garnacho maybe.
Yeah.
And then in the 72nd minute, tactical genius David Moyes.
Paquetá, Bowen! Well, it's taken some time in coming. At last, a moment of pre-Christmas inspiration.
Luke Shaw cooked.
He's the leading scorer.
Oh, what a ball. And Onana, what are you doing? Like, Onana just like getting kind of in the way, but not really saving the ball.
I mean, Bowen got a lucky bounce. Shaw got cooked.
If he was a little stronger, Onana deals with that.
Let's check it out. Let's check it out.
It's like it goes
Shaw
over
gets
the
cooked.
top.
I mean, this like loopy-loop pass. This like lollipop
that's a
pass.
great
It is a great pass, but it's terrible defending.
Bruno's marking him and lets him go. Then
It's on
Shaw's
Shaw.
cooked.
It's
But
Luke
yeah,
Shaw.
it's just generally tough.
It's schoolboy. It's schoolboy defending. That's what you're seeing from United these days, bro.
Ball watching. Here we're going to come in. Bowen gets a touch. He shoots it. Onana, stronger arm there. That's a save. I mean, that's just Onana. Just you want to see him do way better there, for my opinion. Of the goalie, you get a piece of it. It's like as a receiver, sir, in North Jersey high school football, your fingers touch the ball.
What do you know about receiving? This guy.
Your fingers touch the ball.
Bro.
I played tight end. If your fingers touch the ball, you got to catch it, right? That's the rule.
That is the rule.
Goalie touches the ball, you got to save it.
How many catches?
Isn't that
all
right?
day? How many professional catches do you have, Mister Wout Weghorst?
Sorry, was on the practice squad. What do they call it?
When the best of the JV, they get sent down to play with the freshmen.
In JV, I was yes, but in varsity, I was offensive scout team.
Balls,
I did. Sorry, I was
just busted.
I was defensive end. Come on, I got that pass rush specialist here.
That's basically where we're at.
Well,
United versus West
you
Ham.
got to have the analogy for Onana, bringing it back. He touches it, you got to save it. Like, do something with it.
I don't disagree. You should have done better.
Facundo for Anthony in the 73rd. Sure. What do you got? Manchester United, a wet noodle, 78th minute.
In the goal.
And given away here by Mainu. Akudus might be able to take full advantage. He can.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Like, that is it right there. Manchester United absolutely just, like, this is, look, not the worst game. Horrible result. Horrible result.
Correct.
Last game before Christmas. Team had like a soft
Death stare.
team had a you go and defend away, you get a point. We're celebrating the point because we're just so desperate for anything, and then you come back to David Moyes, and seeing Moyes celebrate with the bubbles is just brutal. 85th, Reguilón and Eriksson for Garnacho and
I gotta mention that goal.
Kampwala.
That goal. I mean, Manu makes a mistake, so that's a shame.
I'm trying to paper over that.
I know, but not everyone sees the game. So Kobe gives it away. They run at Evans. Evans doesn't close his man down. Kudos. I'll tell you what, we signed the wrong winger from Ajax because he's a player. He's a player all day, and that speaks to not only Ten Hag.
Coach?
Yeah, I know. You can blame the coach, sir. I know you don't like Ten Hag. I'm talking about the recruitment at the same time. You should be like, hey, this Kudos guy. Have you heard of him? He's pretty good.
Yeah, exactly.
If we had a recruitment team that's not sweating, what's his face?
If you're at any job and you're like, hey, guys, we really need this guy, and you pay him a ton of money, and he shows up, and he's like a bum, you're screwed.
No, it is true.
Like at my job,
my
if
job
I
too.
go
If I brought in this
recommend,
law
like,
firm and they were
we
like a bunch
got
of
this guy
morons.
is great. He's gonna solve all our problems, and we need to, are you sure he's
You're gonna
worth
pay him
that
top
much?
dollar. Pay him
Are you
top
sure
dollar.
he's worth that much money? Yes. And then he not only does he have a scandal, but he's like atrocious. It's like he is horrible. It's like you're cooked. That's an albatross around his neck, sir. You can't get away from you cannot get away from the Anthony signing being that terrible. That is just
Murtaugh Madness, bro. You got to read that article. I'm telling you, it's like they valued him at 25. They paid 85.
XG West Ham 1.54 to Manchester United's 0.78. They did have us there. We had the field tilt, though. We had 63% of the touches in their third versus the other way around, which is kind of speaking to the fact we didn't have the teeth. We didn't have the cutting edge or that cutting pass that we were looking for. We relied on hero ball early in the season. That has dried up, and now we're seeing 4 games, no goals.
Jesus Christ.
crashing down. This was going to catch up to us always.
Oh, yeah. You can't score this few goals and get a result. Even though defense has like been poor, you have to score goals. And I've never seen anything like this. Like even when we had LVG and it was like watching paint dry, I feel like we got more goals because we had a feisty Rooney. We had
Well, it's like we come in the
last
season.
flicks of RVP.
Who scored all the goals last year?
Rashford
Exactly. Where did he score them?
on the wing,
Which wing?
left wing.
How many starts does he have on the left this year? Like he's been playing on the right. He's been
Played up
playing
front
it.
today.
He's been playing up
He did
front.
shit up front.
He's not playing him on the left. It's like that's where we need him. Like he's
He's been
eventually
out of form. I mean, he's been out of form.
He's been out
Let's
of
be
form,
honest.
but like I was watching England World Cup highlights from the World Cup in Qatar, and like Rashford scored so many bangers. He's got it in him. It's like you got to get him in form. The solution is Rashford getting.
He
him
would
in
have scored one of the goals between today's goal, Garnacho.
Exactly.
The Garnacho chance last game against the Scousers, the Hoyland chance against the Scousers.
And then he gets hot. You know
He needs
Rashford.
a
He
goal.
scores
Right.
and then
He
he
needs
gets
a goal.
hot. It's
Yeah,
like you
you're
got to
right.
know that about your players. Shots 12 to 11, 5 to 3, 66% of the ball. Nothing doing for Manchester United. We talked about the field tilt. The X threat, we did edge them 1.12 to 0.92, but again, we didn't have the teeth in the final third. Look, the Gunners, top of the table, sir, unwrapping it early here. Scouse Bastards, 39 points. They drew. Villa, third place, 39 points, tied with the Scouse Bastards. Tottenham, 36. Shitty, 34. West Ham, 30. Newcastle, 29. Oh, we're getting down there now. Eighth place, Manchester United, 28 points, sir.
That feels about right.
I think this is the first time we have been outside the top six before Christmas, if I believe in the Premier League era. That is the stat that I thought was interesting. Fading fast, -5 goal differential. Only scored 18. I think the only other teams to score 18 are in the relegation zone.
No, that's it. I mean, even the goals against, it's bad. It's not that bad. It's like 23. Shit, City's only done 20. Tottenham's done 24. But fucking City scored 40 goals. We scored 18. Tottenham scored 37 goals. So it's like if you don't score goals, you are fucked.
Yeah, but
especially with a leaky defense.
We said this. We reviewed last season.
Yeah, that was
and
the
we
Hoyland
said
era. The Hoyland era
we
was like
need goals.
You
We
shouldn't have
need
signed anybody
goals.
else other than you should have gone
We need a
all
number
in.
9.
But even then, no one's giving him the ball.
You
so like,
need Harry-
Kane
dude,
wouldn't be scoring 20 goals right now. Like
I
he is
would
at
agree,
Bayern.
but like you needed goals. We
do.
said it. We look at our defensive record last year, and we bought a keeper, and we got overpaid for a young striker. I would have said De Gea run it back and buy 2 strikers. Like that's clearly the
Hoyland
move.
Kane. I mean, the move would have literally been like re-up De Gea,
was so-
forget everybody else, get Mount next year on a free.
You have to
and do
understand
Hoyland and Kane.
this manager. You have to understand that. I believe when you look back at it, Eric Ten Hag lost his job in the summer. He could have survived Anthony, but he can't survive the Onana. The Onana move
Hoyland.
was a stake in the heart, and the
'cause the
overpaying for
errors, the
Hoyland.
errors, the
like
errors.
you got to think of it from a survival perspective, which is like, are people gonna kill you for re-signing De Gea? Like, no, they're gonna kill De Gea, right? At the end of the day. And then if you overpay for Harry Kane, is anyone going to kill you? No, they're going to kill Harry Kane. It's a little bit of politics too when you're a manager. I just felt like he was trying to do too much, play 2 10s in the like we already have a 10. Why are you getting another 10? You're overpaying for number 9. We don't really need a goalie. We just got away with it in the league, and we did too much, not enough.
Well,
You
didn't
know,
pay. He
too
took
many
big
moves,
bets.
not
He
enough.
took big bets, and they all fucking blew up in his face.
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
like if
I think it was
Onana hit
lost
the
in the
ground
summer
running,
race.
no one would think it was a bad move, right? If he was all of a sudden like playing like he was playing in the Champions League
Exactly.
final, it'd be no big deal. If Hoyland was scoring, it'd be no big deal. If Mount was playing, was effective, it would be no big deal. But like every signing,
Mason Mount's going to come.
Martinez
good,
been
by the way.
injured, Mount's been injured, Hoyland hasn't scored in the league. Onana had a horror start, especially in the
Yeah, but
Champions
if you only
League.
get one striker and you're going to
No,
pay
that's-
75 million
That's also on
euros,
the
and that
club.
guy doesn't
That's also
score,
on the club because they were like Martial's good enough, bro. Like
No.
that was a club decision.
the moves that were made and where the money was spent, that the Onana decision, that was Ten Hag, and that one blew up. And
He's
then
gonna
you
get
have
fired
the-
regardless.
No, but I'm just saying,
trying to call
I
balls and
believe
strikes.
I did not agree with those moves in the summer, and they're all coming to roost now, and you're seeing it. You're seeing we're playing with 2 10s. It doesn't work. We have the Onana move that didn't really make us better. We're treading water there, and the striker, not the right call. Like, I would have bet everything I had on Harry Kane.
Well, like I said, we
That
have the benefit of hindsight, so it's easy to be like,
we said all these
should have bought
opinions
more,
at
should have bought more
the
Apple
time.
in 2009. Yeah, but like, yes.
We said all of that. I was like, why are you changing? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That was fair.
To be fair on the Mount thing, we haven't seen Mount, Bruno, and Casemiro yet, like with some time to play together. I agree. He's fucked, sir. So I don't know what to tell you.
No, but you could survive Anthony, but the moves this past summer have not
He
come
can survive
good.
Anthony because Anthony actually he scored a couple big goals the first half of the season.
No,
It
that's what I'm trying to
completely
say. Even Anthony has a really rough move. You could survive that, but the moves this past summer, and then to have them fall the way that they fell,
and they all backfired.
That really is what take you a leg down. And let's check in with the man. How is he doing?
I think decent 72 minutes, where we didn't take our chances. We should have go in the lead, but we didn't. And then one moment of switching off, and then you're following fix.
Garnacho in the first half had several chances. Is there a lack of confidence in there when he gets into the penalty area?
Not on Garnacho. I think his confidence. He's in a good form in this moment. But yeah, it's the truth. He was one-on-one with the keeper. He could have taken it. But we didn't. And as I say, we controlled the game. It was a solid performance. And then one moment of switching off, and then you're following the facts.
Talk about positives. You brought in a young boy to make his debut at the back, Cambuela. Excellent for a debut.
Yes, definitely. So very good. And we have from the 5 centre backs, 4 are ill or injured, and he steps in, and we trusted him, and I think he proved that he was a trusted.
Hey, anytime a Manchester United manager gives a young player a debut, that's something that should be applauded. Look, it's been a rough season so far. It's you'd like to see United winning during the Christmas period.
You still win.
And falling down the table. It's just tough to see. And look, the manager, he's been beaten up. No one could have seen this. After last year, even I thought it was like too many moves, not enough where we really needed it. I could have never seen this coming. And what this looks like to me, it looks like you got a good manager, too many highly paid ego players. They're fighting internally. And when you're fighting internally for power and this organization is this big of a mess, how could you ever get the best 11 on the field playing together and focused? And that's where you make your luck. You make your luck on the training pitch, working hard as a unit, as a team. And that's why West Ham won today. I thought we played better. West Ham earned the luck. They hung in there. They got the goal. We wet noodled and gave up another one. So it's not the worst performance away from United, but a bad, crushing result for this team that's dying for something. And when you're not even focused or on the same page, you're going to lose games like this.
Yeah, I think that's very well said. And it's tough for a fan because you watch that game and you're like, damn, what could have been, what should have been. But here we are losing to West Ham, who we hate to lose to in general because West Ham is a very hateable team when you learn about their history and you meet some of their fans and David Moyes. But I think the legacy, Ten Hag's going to get the whack, whether it's 5 weeks from now, 5 months from now, it's going to happen. The one good thing, I think there's a couple of good things, but the major good thing is he has promoted youth. And that is something that I think is important. Obviously, he didn't sign these players, but pushing Kobe in, pushing Garnacho in, Kimwala, he looks a player, that would be one less center back we have to buy. That is something that not every manager does. He could have just put Shaw in at center back and then played Reguilón at left back. So something. I'm just trying to hawk on the positive. The positives are we do have some good gems in the academy, in the youth setup.
There's not a lot of positives.
I'm just trying
for
to
this season.
We're heading into Christmas.
The season is cooked.
No, the season is gone.
But here's the deal.
It's a disaster. But I'm just saying,
let's level set on the table.
Glimmers of hope.
Let's level set. 28 points. Top 4 is 36, right? And we got to play Tottenham. We got to play Villa. You lose against Villa. I mean, this is kind of when the pack starts just. You talk to the man. Should the manager get fired? 8 points out of top 4? No, he should not be fired. He should be given time. But if we're 11th in the table and that distance is insurmountable and the players aren't playing, you're gonna. Which direction are we headed? Could he turn around? Yes. Could we be
probably won't
headed downtown?
Below Chelsea.
Thing
is, you can't go below Chelsea. You go below Chelsea, then you can get fired. That's my barometer. It's like, ain't nobody talking about.
Well, it's how you finish it.
Anyhow, they're 1 point ahead of us. They also
Not
got
even
knocked out of
halfway.
the Champions
We're
League.
not
Chelsea.
halfway. We're not halfway through the season.
One more game, baby. One more game. Hey, we're a second half team. No, sir. The season's a disaster. It's a write-off. It's another write-off. We have like a number of write-off seasons. Ole gets fired. It's a write-off. Jose gets fired. They play good for 2 months. They hire fucking Ole. They gave him twice as many games as Erik ten Hag. And then we finished 6th place. It's like, this season's another write-off, bro.
David de Gea has saved us.
Sir, you got to join his esports team, bro.
love
Real
that.
gamer over here.
I'll tell you, De Gea is like sitting at home being
Laughing,
like,
bro.
he's just
Laughing.
like, yep.
Laughing, counting his money, bro.
All right, let's get into it. We got more. Who wants more? Manchester United. Let's go. Alex called it last year. Top 10 Villa. Top
4 Villa. Bro.
Top 3 Villa.
Unbelievable. I knew it. I fucking knew it. They're a well-run club. They have tons of history, bro. Villa's like a much bigger team than a Spurs, Chelsea before 2004. And they've been signing good players, and then they had like an absolute idiot of a manager, and then they got rid of him and they brought in a heavy in Unai Emery, and he's doing great things. I think if you look at his point total since he joined, he'd basically be like right off first. He might be in first. Like, he's overperforming. So Villa, they show you something about recruitment. Hungry players.
Unai Emery, Villarreal, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, European
Everyone
Cup
talking about how
final.
much they miss Ole. Remember that final, bro?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Jesus. All this revisionism, like we need Ole back. Get the game.
Let's go. It's Old Trafford.
Dying over here.
Tuesday, December 26th, noon Pacific. Merry Christmas. Let's go. 3 p.m. Eastern. Games 1 versus Villa. 104. Drawn 41. Lost 51. First time we played them 18 and 92. We won 2-0 in the first division, sir. What would I take for a 2-0 Boxing Day victory? Let's go.
Fucking
Last
huge.
5, won 3, drawn 1, lost 1. We did the double on them last season. Aggregate score on that 5-2. Why are we worried about it, sir?
No, we didn't. Remember?
We didn't. Yeah,
Remember
the League Cup.
That game, 6th of November, 2022, Unai Emery's first game in charge of Aston Villa. You lost your fucking mind when we lost that game.
Yes, I did.
Yes, you did. And I was like, they're a good team. He's a good manager. And obviously, we had a good season. But this is a huge match for Manchester United. This is such a big match, and I'm worried about
It's a big one.
Dude, first of all,
There ain't no big matches the rest of the year. It's like, let's get let's get Ratcliffe in. Let's get to the end of the year. Let's start getting rid of people. That's all. That's the win for me.
Start getting rid of
Watching
people in
this
January,
team,
bro.
watching games there's gonna be no
On
joy in
paper,
watching
no,
these
no,
games.
it's joyless. But
There's
it's on
gonna be no
paper, it's a
joy.
big game. It's a big game. Villa's a hard team to beat. They're dirty fuckers, bro. They stick. They're third place. They're above City. Don't act like they're not a good team. I mean, come on.
I'm just saying, like,
We're shit.
This is not going to be entertaining for
No, it's
Manchester
gonna be
United
awful.
fans.
It's gonna be an awful game, and I don't want
This
to even
could
watch
be
it.
the death blow, sir.
Already-
They beat Man City. They beat Arsenal. They drew Zorinsky in the Europa Conference
Yeah,
League. They beat Brentford, and they drew Sheffield United yesterday. A little slip up from Villa. But a little history found in 1874, commonly referred to as Villa. They play in Birmingham, England. The team have played their home ground at Villa Park since 1897. One of the oldest, most successful clubs in England. They've won the Football League First Division 7 times, FA Cup 7 times, League Cup 5 times, European Cup and European Super Cup once. They got European history. They're gunning for Europe. They're taking that top 4 spot from us at the moment. Getting into the 11-3-5-2, Unai Emery, Sir Ollie Watkins, talked about him. Matt E. Cash, one of the best names in the Premier League.
Bro,
sir.
Pau Torres. We were Kamara. We could have gotten him on a free. We didn't. Pau Torres, great center back. Dude, they're a good team. They're dirty. They work fucking hard. They fucking dive. They are everything that it takes to be good in fucking EPL these days. It's like really organized. They've got good finishers. They have a strong midfield, and they play the game. And by the game, I mean they dig those studs into you, and then if they get touched, they flop to the ground. So they are dangerous as they come.
Physio room, Malacia, he's out. Magoo, hip. Casemiro, thigh. Martinez, ankle. Mason Mount, he's got that calf injury. Delo, he was suspended, but he should be back. Ericsson's back. Lindesoft out. Martial's sick. Sancho suspended. Ahmad still out. That is very concerning. And then obviously Varane with the illness / wants to leave because the Dutchman isn't
Where did you hear
nice.
that? Where did you hear that he wants to leave?
Real Madrid in January. Apparently, there's interest.
How does that work? We bought it for $45 million, and they want it for free.
Yeah, we'll give it.
we're
And
not
guess
gonna
what?
get
We're that
gazumped.
bad. He doesn't want to play, and there's a mean Dutchman running around, sir. Let's see. What is your 11? Obviously, you got to weigh those factors.
Onana, AWB, but it won't be. He'll play Delo. Varane, Evans, Shaw, Kobe. He's gonna play. He's gonna do the same midfield because he's such a fucking stubborn Dutchman. These Dutch people they're stubborn. Kobe, he's gonna play McTominay, Bruno. He should play Rashford, Hoyland, Anthony. I guess. Who you got?
I'm gonna say Onana. I'm gonna say AWB. Varane is back from illness because hopefully it's not a feud. You got Johnny Evans. You got Luke Shaw. You're gonna get the same Bruno, McTominay. Mainu midfield. You got to play him again. You're going to get Garnacho, Hoyland, and Anthony. You're going to get the boys. You're going to get the favorites. Doesn't take off Anthony. Bad game for Anthony today. Another bad game, and he doesn't get hooked. Get Wout back on this team,
No,
sir.
do not say that.
Given those are the odds, what do we got from a bookie's perspective, sir?
United the favorites.
Dollar.
Don't touch this, bro. Plus
Dollar,
135, plus 270 for the draw, plus 185 for the villains away, sir. Given the odds, what is your score prediction?
Dollar. I'd be betting Villa all day. You're gonna get money for Aston Villa. You're gonna bet them. They're gonna cook Manchester United 5-1. I think this is gonna be this is the death blow. It is coming. It has been coming, sir. It's been a slide, and it is gonna the Unai Emery, Count Chocula, the footballing gods. Unai Emery's he's got one scalp. That is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, sir. You got him. That was the death blow to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the Yellow Submarine, and the death blow to Erik ten Hag is going to be Unai Emery doing us Boxing Day, Old Trafford. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho. Not quite that bad, but the same direction. 3-0 Villa. We just get washed off the park. I think Onana has a very busy game and probably keeps it
Very busy.
Probably keeps it worse than it could be. Here we go. Let's get some fucking news.
All right, United in the news, sir. You got some. You're just lapping up that haterade for Murtaugh. Give me the summary of how bad he was. Look, we knew he was that bad.
I know, but it's worse than you could even imagine. There's a lot. It's a really good article. The Athletic, like I said at the beginning of the pod, they probably are the best publication in England. They're like the only real journalists. Everyone else just like throws dog shit at a wall. They actually like go through the steps and ask the club, they're like, hey, do you want to refute any of this? They didn't, of course. But basically they went through Murtaugh and all his doings. And there's a lot there, but I think the one that like stuck out the most to me was the fact that when United was courting a 16-year-old Jude Bellingham.
This was all over the press. We talked about it.
I know, but
wanted him.
No, I know. We did.
wanted
And
him.
Fergie
bad.
was involved. We wanted him bad. Who wouldn't want him? He's like the best. He's probably the best midfielder in the world right now. He's killing it at Real Madrid. Has like 20 goals. Murtaugh, like Fergie came in. Fergie was putting the arm around the shoulder, taking him around Carrington, and Murtaugh literally came in and like pushed Fergie out and was like, "I got this, bro." And apparently, like that made him livid. Things went sour after that. And I really couldn't recommend this article more. This is just one of the tidbits from the Daily Mail. He talked about like the Anthony deal, the Hoyland deal, the going out of Frankie de Jong and like digging their heels in with that, and then like willing to overpay for Casemiro at the last minute. The fact that like the Wenger, it's every transfer and it's the lack of culpability. And basically, John Murtaugh is an absolute moron. He was the one name that there was some semblance, and we don't know. He could still stick around, but I'm just thankful that somebody absolutely fucking slayed this goofball because he's the exact opposite of the next guy we're about to talk to, bro.
No, he's gone. He's got to go. So this is where I basically say everyone deserves to be cooked who's associated with this team. It's not about these guys. It's not about Erik ten Hag. It's not about these bluffing players. It's not about the people in the front office. It's not about the people at Carrington. It's not about Murtaugh. It's not about Arnold. It's about Jean-Claude coming in. It's about Ratcliffe. It's about Dan motherfucking Ashworth.
Yeah,
that is what we're talking about because we lost the ability to get him at Brighton. He did it. He was at the England. He was at the England Academy.
West Brom.
Then he went to Brighton. Then he went to Newcastle. We missed him. Look how Newcastle's doing. Look at how Newcastle's doing. Look how Brighton went. That's called a CV. You hire that guy. You give him whatever he wants. You give him full control. You let him do it all at Manchester United, right? That will take the control away from the manager, so he can't go buy his boy Anthony. Can't go Slayton De Gea and get no in net. Like, this is the guy that's going to be the man to stop all that nonsense from happening, which got us in this position in the first place. Year after year, manager after manager. This is what stops this from happening. This debate that's happening all over Twitter, etc., it stops with this guy. Oh, by the way, we still might get Paul Mitchell. You know why? Because we're Manchester fucking United, and we need the two best DOFs out there. You know why? One's got to run the first team, and the other guy's got to be that step further, getting the best youth talent in the entire world, because we still have that global reach with our brand, and we got to be thinking big time. We got to be thinking getting the best players who are 10, who are 12. We got to be focusing on building out like a serious youth academy, and I love the way this is headed, but we're not going to see the fruits of this for years. But this is where the pain stops. This is where we are currently darkest before the dawn.
Pain sponge over here. Pain sponge United.
Exactly. And so this move, this is the only thing I care about. I don't care about proving the players wrong. I don't care about the manager. I don't care about that argument. I care about getting Dan Ashworth into United, whatever the cost. This is the only thing I care about.
This is more important than buying another striker. This is more important than buying that center back you want. This is more important than getting whoever. This is more important than getting Mbappe in the summer, bro. This guy is the guy who should have joined before they gave Murtaugh the job. Probably a name only, whatever. He's the real fucking deal. He's the real deal based on the CV you said, and he's a real deal because, listen, he does a podcast. He like hops on a podcast like Talking Tactics, and he talks about his experience, talks about what he likes to do, how he likes to work with the other parts of the team in terms of like recruitment and the youth team and the first team and all that stuff. He's fucking the real deal. And this would be a statement hire. Newcastle do not want to get rid of him for obvious reasons. He's highly qualified, one of the best in the game. He's experienced. He's got 10 years more of experience than a Paul Mitchell. Paul Mitchell's actually on the younger side. He's only like 42. Dan's like 52. And they would be a perfect complement. So what we're hearing is that Dan Ashworth would be the technical director, the head honcho, and Paul Mitchell will be the head of recruitment. So that would be the move, is you go for both. You bring them both in because we've had such idiots running the show for the last 15 years that you got to bring in the heavies because we have so much work to do. But a lot of work to be done because we're going to have to basically buy out his contract with Newcastle in order to
It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter because he's more important. He's arguably more important than the next coach. It's like you need to have like a proper director that just
he's going to hire the next coach.
Exactly. That's the whole point. Is like he's going to choose the next coach, all the scouts, like who we keep, who we get rid of, who from the academy is going to make it, who's not. And I'm all in on Dan Ashworth, but I hope we can get him.
And then obviously to the Ineos takeover, they're talking about job cuts. Obviously they're reviewing anyone who is talking about private equity. Just dealing with the team and having season tickets. Oh my God. It's incredible how bad of an experience. This sums up Manchester United, right? It's like everyone's trying to give them their money that they can't even figure out how to take it. Like that's the issue Manchester United have. And by the way, not great at technology. It's like I try to go to the season ticket website in Firefox, that doesn't work. So then I have to download Google Chrome. Then I log into the website with Google Chrome. Then it tells me that I'm a bot. So then it blocks me. So I can't access the season ticket website from my one computer. So then I got to go to my Mac. But then my Mac has Firefox, and I got to use Safari on my Mac to be even to get into the place where you can print your ticket out. I have to use two computers because they have no idea where they're doing it. Oh yeah, when they block you, like I sent a message, hey, can you unblock me? It's been like 3 months. Nobody's like unblocked me, so I can't even get in. It's like that's how bad
everything, bro.
Everything. It's horrific. And that's why they got to come in. They got to change. There's a lot of legacy operations at United. They're going to cut a lot of people. That's going to be good for the team. Increase cash flow as long as the Glazers aren't taking that dividend. Invest into the squad. Invest in the training ground. Invest into the stadium. Let's go.
100%. And I hate to do this. But if you look at
it's inefficiency.
if you look,
it's not like people are like deserve their. It's not
I'm
like they're
not
just
making-
firing
it's
people
not 'cause
for
of
a
the
bad,
people. It's the processes. It's the direction. It's the management. It's the oversight. It's the accountability. It's not the individuals doing the job.
Exactly.
It's the people running the show, giving the direction, and be like, this is what we're doing.
It's poorly run. Is the whole
Everything
idea.
at
Yeah.
Manchester United is poorly run, unfortunately. Basically everything. Everything you touch, whether it's like buying a piece of merch or it's buying a fucking warm Carling or it's getting your tickets as a season ticket holder like we are. Unfortunately, every single step of the process
It's incredible.
it is.
Dude, I
everything.
bought my Mason Mount
It's
kit. I
everything,
can't even
bro.
get the right font.
So I'm saying it's
You don't like.
it's not
but
a
it's like-
manager. It's like everything in this club is basically broken. Like
No, but it's
everything.
like you can't even like. They're like literally taking your half of your arm to get like a kit of a player, and I can't even get the right font on it. You know what I'm saying? They can't even take your money, and it's like this. It's just a bad organization. And at the end of the day, it's like Ratcliffe coming in, fresh air. Jean-Claude's going to fix a lot of that. Hopefully, it ends up with the Nike Jumpman on the Manchester United kit before I die. Like that's all I want.
Before I die. Sorry, don't be so morbid.
because there's a 10-year contract with Adidas. I mean, like how many more of those?
10 more years? Oh, there's your another decade of misery right
Well,
there.
that's what I
bro.
was just saying. Like by the time Manchester United are back, I need the Jordan Jumpman on the kit. I have a feeling that will go hand in hand. Like Michael Jordan in the stands.
We'll be back.
Big
10
deal with
years.
Nike.
10 years we'll be back.
In 10 years and like winning titles and European titles again, sir.
Jordan gets a 5% royalty of everything.
It's
He
unbelievable.
gets like 300
No, but
million
it's like-
dividend a year.
Who doesn't want that logo on the like? Imagine Manchester United and just Jumpman. Baby. Let's go. Let's go.
It's wasted on PSG.
Let's go. I know. What do you got? What else is in the news, sir?
There was a busy week. I mean, this is my favorite. John Murtaugh finally figured out that there's a bunch of rubes in Saudi Arabia that you could sell players to. He like flew to Saudi Arabia. I was like, hey, we got Casemiro, we got Varane, we got Jadon Sandwich, and we got Anthony Martial. Hey, Anthony Martial. He's late, bro. This summer was when you had to be like shelling players to the Saudis while they build up their like joke league that no one watches.
Day late, dollar
That's
short,
John Murtaugh, bro.
This
Like,
guy,
John Murtaugh's sweating.
Hey, coming soon. Alex, John Murtaugh, going to do a podcast together soon.
Sir, he won't take
The
me.
breakaway.
Here, the last piece of news is talk about the big news, sir. They came back from the dead 2 years later. The Spaniards, they're trying it again. It's unbelievable
The
how
Super
broke.
League.
How
This
broke.
is really not. This is really interesting because it comes down to the new UEFA Champions League format, which is kind of crazy.
Which is what, just more games,
Which is basically
right?
Yes, yeah, and more teams, right? So you're kind of diluting the teams, making them play more. Which is, look, but all the teams want to do that, right? The ECA, the European Clubs Association, whose like head happens to be Nasser Al Khelaïfi, the PSG guy, which I think is like very funny.
Jesus Christ.
But they don't want the Super League, right? So like there's 500 European clubs in this association. They do not want the Super League. And so everyone's against the Super League except for Barcelona and Real Madrid, who are trying to like obviously make more money. Look, there's a push and a pull of like, hey, United, Madrid, these teams should be making the lion's share of money. No one cares about Spartak, XYZ. So at the end of the day, like United just get more. Which at the end of the day, I do agree in some way. But the fact the FA is against this, the fact UEFA is against this, and this came out of like a European court hearing where they ruled that the UEFA and the FA went out of bounds, right, from a antitrust perspective. So the ruling kind of slapped the leagues back, leaving room for this Super League. But it doesn't sound like it's happening this time, and that's because the fans spoke out last time, and the club has kind of realized this is not what they want. But here's the deal. The NFL plays games in Europe for one reason and one reason only. That is cash money. The quality of the product gets worse when people travel that much, etc. Right? The NFL is killing it, and the European and UEFA leagues are looking at that, and that's coming to European football. They're going to play Champions League games
in New York,
in America.
Yeah.
They're going to play, Saudi Arabia is going to play in the Champions League. There's going to be all this funny stuff that they do because money talks. They'll probably play Champions League games in the Middle East at the end of the day if Saudi Arabia wants to pay millions of dollars for it. That is going to happen. That's going to come into the sport. They're going to look at the NFL. They're going to try a bunch of things. People are going to freak out. Even the EPL, they'll add a 39th game. They'll play that in different countries. 100% they're going to do that. Why not play an EPL game in Germany? Why not play an EPL game in Italy? Why not play it in New York City? That's coming. This is all coming. And that's just the way it is because money talks. I don't like it. But you have to look at the NFL and look at what they're doing and how it's working. It's like the NFL is killing it right now.
Yeah, they're making a lot of money, and unfortunately, money always wins. At least it has historically. I think the big takeaway is like the two teams that are the biggest proponents of this basically destroyed their domestic league because they took all the money from the TV rights. So, like in the Premier League, the most the most popular league in the world, all of the money of the top 20 teams is basically split. Like everyone gets 1/20th, more or less. There's definitely like. The team who finished the best last year gets more, but it's close to parity. If you look at La Liga, those two teams, Barcelona and Real Madrid, get like half of the TV money every year, regardless. And they wrote it that way. And because of that, the Liga suffered because the other teams around them are unable to invest money. So you have like Bournemouth or fucking Luton has more money than goddamn Sevilla or like a Villarreal or like a team or a team right below the top two. So they've destroyed their domestic league. La Liga is unwatchable, and they lost the two best players.
And it wasn't always that way. When,
no, it wasn't.
When
It used
Messi
to
and
be the big
Ronaldo
dog.
were there,
12 years ago, it was
they were
the
pushing
league.
us out. Yeah,
they were.
Exactly. Yeah.
And now EPL is god of football. I mean, other than Champions League and
straight.
the World Cup. And
Don't forget,
they've done that.
MLS, baby, Major League Soccer.
Speaking of tears.
Major League
So
Soccer.
anyway, I love how like the world basically like didn't even respond to this. Like the best is like the new CEO guys like, we're doing it for the fans, man. It's like football's free, bro. It's like
no, but this doesn't matter. I mean,
one
like this
cares.
is not even worth it. Like honestly, they came back, huh? Like
that's the thing.
that's
Like
good.
everyone just like shrugged.
Look, sir. Look, it's been a great podcast. If you want to support the America Red Devils, oh no, sir, we got fan questions. What am I?
Let's be salty.
Sir,
Just rip it.
oh, what am I
Rip it
doing?
and
What am I
grip it.
thinking?
Rip it and grip it,
I was like
baby.
ending early because of Christmas, so we're off our A game. We've had a week off for the first time in like 3 years. So I
like that week off. I'll tell you what, we don't have a week off this time.
Jesus.
Boxing Day.
Boxing Day. Let's go. At 25 Christian GD 25. Mano is legit. Sucks he made a mistake, but he's the only hope I have. I forgot McTominay was even playing. Great point. McTominay not playing well. I don't know why the manager keeps playing him. Mano, like water under the bridge. Don't even worry about it, honestly, at the end of the day.
He's a kid. He's got to make mistakes.
At Bry Guy 666, 4:30 a.m. curse, or we just shit. I know they're injuries, but man, this team is so boring to watch. I find myself screaming at the lads to create some kind of attack consistently. We had 2 chances, both were blown. I still back Ten Hag, but I fear his days are numbered. They are numbered. They are numbered. They are.
Okay,
like,
louder.
If we head in,
Of course they are.
We're
We know
headed that way.
Well,
Like, we've been headed. I'll tell you what. I've seen a lot of football. Watched 20 years of this club, and I've never seen like. I
Don't
saw
even
that.
Finish it. Just say it. You don't think we've ever been this bad? Yes, we have.
No. I was saying we opened the league against Wolves, and watching that game, that was it. I saw that game, and I was like,
because remember how bad we started
that
last
was
year? We got beat up 4-1 by Brentford. Like,
no, but
remember, like,
we actually
sweating cheeks, Erickson.
No, we totally Brentford cooked us for sure, but we didn't. That was one of the worst. Like coming off of a season where we finished well. It wasn't just like we were like
fucking
Rangnick
preseason,
ball.
bro.
Like,
Like
think about it.
11-game preseason
you
match.
finish Rangnick ball and then you play bad. It's not a surprise. We finished like top 4, did well, added a bunch of guys, and then that Wolves game was like we were all over the board, and it just looked horrible. And we have not.
We played better today than
The
the Wolves
only
game.
good game we've played, there's 2, I would say. It was the League Cup against Burnley, right? Or Palace. And the Chelsea game. Those are the 2.
We played okay against Everton. We played okay against the Scouser. I mean, well versus okay.
Good. Like watching the games, being like, yes, I'm happy. Like as a fan, like those are the 2 games that come to mind.
Even when
like,
we play well, we'd concede like 4 goals, and Onana would have 2 howlers.
even when like Jose was getting fired, we were playing better. Even when Ole,
we weren't. Ole, I was there, bro.
This
for
has
Ole.
been
We
the
were playing-
longest
we were
spell
terrible.
of. This has been the longest spell of like just hopeless football
It's
I
been
can
fits
remember.
and starts, right? It's like
This is Rangnick. Ralph Rangnick's the only other period that compares to right now, and it shouldn't be.
Agree. I think Ole's dying days were just as bad. That 5-0, I was in the fucking stands,
No, it was
bro.
worse
That
for
was-
shorter. Ole was way worse for way shorter period of
As
time.
soon
This
as
is
he lost that
like a
final-
malaise. This has been a malaise since the start of the season. And
See the fans. Keep ripping those fans. Get us.
At Jack Bourne 86, sirs, I'll be damned. Warm air is starting to swirl way out in the distance as the next tropical storm takes shape.
Lonnie Quinn.
We'll know by New Year's. Bluffers FC, happy holidays to all American Red Devils. Appreciate you. At Alex Davis 33, it's over for Eric Ten Hag. Give it Ole for the vibes till the end of the season. Then get Jose back. Almost everything he said at the time turned out to be true. Picking Pogba over him was a disaster. Man, love the club, and the current squad is his only style. And the current squad is one his style could get the best of. So he thinks Mourinho's style could get more out of this team. And hey, what do you want to bring back Ole for the vibes?
I'm good
Interim Ole?
I think we've seen that like both of his assistant managers are probably better. How's Kieran McKenna doing with Ipswich? Pretty good.
At Fairway Freddy, the confidence has gone from this group. Playing away offers no goals and no joy. The season is gone. This season has gone. This football is bleak and predictable. It's true. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's just like this is.
You're saying?
I'm saying the same thing.
Joyless.
Fairway Freddy.
Yeah,
it is like
bleak.
Joyless. And just like
every fan's on the same page. It's like a fucking joke. We're a disaster class. Another season in the bin. What, like in the last every other year it ends up in the bin midway through, bro. It's like fuck this shit. What do you got for me?
The fire rises.
I just like we're all over it. This season it's over. It's over. So just end it already. We got another like 23 games.
It's over. It's over. Okay, at Shaw JJ, do you give Eric Ten Hag to the end of the season?
I do, because I think there's nobody good available right now, and like this whole like, oh, he's not playing for the manager. If we like bring in an assistant, they'll play better. Like dude, you have already sold me that bullshit before. That doesn't work here. These players are such bums.
No, I agree. I completely.
If it was
agree.
a normal club, if this was like even like Tottenham Hotspur, where players like I guess are trying to like chip up, that'd be one thing. But like these players have shown like they don't care. Like they don't give a fuck.
No,
they don't care at all.
I think it's like, but so. If this was any other situation, like, Eric Ten Hag should probably, we'll see. Like I said, if he really loses out on top four, that I think it'll cost him his job. 8 points were not there. Another two losses in a row, that would get you to
lose
that
to Villa, lose
distance.
to Forest, he's gonna be in trouble.
Yeah, you'll be right on the ropes. You'll be like on the ropes, like boxer on the ropes. So at the end of the day, like. If I'm a new owner coming in, I'm not going to start chopping and changing.
In February?
I would let him. I wouldn't do anything in January other than try to sell. Yeah. And I would literally keep Eric Ten Hag all the way to the end of the year, and I'd send him off and just say positive things, keep it all light, and I'd be working on the next manager and just leave Eric Ten Hag in charge, because you're just going to evaluate the talent. Right now is actually a good time to just leave the manager and then see who plays. And that should inform who should stay.
If they don't work hard for a manager who's about to get fired, they won't work hard for anybody.
That's the point. So you kind of use this crisis mode as a way to see who's salvageable from the squad, and that's why you keep him. So you kind of but the new owner might come in and be more pumped to just cut heads. I don't know. At MHersey5, I see people saying it's the hope that kills you. I used to get mad after conceding a goal. But anyway, I feel no emotions when we concede. I just like this team so much. I expect them to lose, and have accepted that. Anyway, Merry Christmas to the American Red Devils family. Look, they play joyless football. They don't put in a lot of effort. It's hard to get behind them. This team doesn't have a lot of characters you want to get behind, and that's not Manchester United. And we'll be back. It's just going to take some time. At D_Cole18, sirs, Eric Ten Hag has lost a dressing room. Players downing tools just like under Ralph, Ole, Josie, and
That's
LVG.
a long list. That's a long list.
Many of those same players are still. Many of those players are still here. I don't know why we even have hope at this point. Nothing will change them. The club's literally burned to the ground and rebuilt from the ashes. I think we'll end on that one. Burn to the ground.
That list is incredible. Ralph, Ole, Josie, LVG.
Burn to the ground, rebuilt from the ashes, sir.
Yeah. The fire rises.
All right, that is it. That's the podcast. Sir, we definitely need those spicy fan takes before we left everyone for the Christmas holiday. Support the American Devils. Check out our Patreon, patreon.com/AmericanRedDevils, AmericanDevils.store, AmericanDevils.com. Sir, give us a top 10 downloads last 7 days.
Number one, how you doing? Dublin, Ireland, New York, Chicago, Illinois, Los Angeles, California, Washington, D.C., Houston, Texas, Melbourne, Australia, San Francisco, California, Oslo, Norway, and last but not least, Dallas, Texas. Appreciate all the American Devils listening week in, week out. We hope you have a very special holidays. Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy New Year. We'll talk to you before then. We got Villa on Boxing Day.
Woo!
Remember, life is short. Spend time with your family and loved ones. Get outside. Manchester United, we'll be back in about 10 years.
Manchester United's not solving those problems.
No, it ain't
there,
helping no more.
unfortunately. It used to help.
Used to make me feel better. Now it makes me feel worse.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.